Hi, my name is Rick Galopoli, and I'm from the Glenrock campus, and it's a pleasure to be here with you as we observe Lent. I've been asked to speak about the persecuted church. It's the fourth section, the last section in something called the section that Ryan has listed, World of Woes. So this happens to be something that is very dear to me and very special in my walk with our Lord. But I want to start out by saying, in no way, shape, or form is anything that I share about our brothers and sisters that are being persecuted for their faith around the world, do I hope that it creates guilt in you, or that I'm trying to gin up a sense of shame or guilt or obligation. Um, I'm hoping that being reacquainted or being reminded, or even for the first time being introduced to what's going on in the persecuted church around the world, that it would have the effect on you that it radically had on me as a brand new Christian, it encouraged me. It deepened my love for the Lord. It created more hatred of sin, and it created a sense in me that I could do better as a Christian in my studies, in my responsibilities to those less fortunate than me, and it radically changed me. I was fortunate early on to get to meet Pastor Richard Warmbrand up in Lenox, Massachusetts, where I was attending Bible college, adjunct, off campus. And I was doing film editing of his sermons as we sent them around the world through the ministry. And as I started to hear the stories that he told, I was in awe. I was humbled in awe. I was ashamed for the human race. And like I said, it made me hate sin even more than I did. Some of the things that he went through are things that are currently going on now. There's 40 countries in the world that sanction and overtly persecute Christians, murdering, ostracizing them from family members, kidnapping, stealing of businesses, starvation, forced starvation, labor camps. That's just some of it that goes on currently, just for being a Christian today. But Pastor Warmbrand told a story that when he was taken by the communists, he was put into a solitary confinement for 13 years. Nobody. Didn't have anyone to talk to except the guards and the people that handed him the slop that they called food. One of the tortures he endured was they would bring people in to the cells next to him, and they would torture them and tell him that those were his family members. Once, at times they told him it was his wife. Again, I don't know the age groups of the people that are going to see this, so I want to be very careful on what I share. So you could imagine what was happening for this poor man when he thought his wife was being tortured. And what they would say to him was, renounce Christ and we'll stop. Give us the names of other Christians and we'll stop. So 3 of those years he spent in a dirt hole of those 13, in a dirt hole in the ground, never saw the sun. And this went on a regular basis. His wife tells of stories where they would take the women out of the camps and bring them in the middle of the winter in Romania, bring them onto these frozen lakes. And the soldiers would just jeer at them, make them, strip down, no socks, no shoes. And she tells of an amazing miracle where once the angels came and created a warm section for them and they didn't freeze. In the past, other women had frozen to death, and that's what happened. But during this one time when the miracle happened, some soldiers got down on their knees and accepted Christ. So these are some of the things that are incredible to us to hear because of how we live. We live in such a blessed environment. Sometimes, miracles, we don't even think about them. But again, becoming acquainted with what goes on around the world for people that are being tortured and church communities that are being tortured just for being Christians, what it can do for us is give us a deeper appreciation for who we are as Christians. Matthew 5:3 says, blessed are the poor in spirit. And Lent has gone through many changes over the years. But one of the things that is common to Lent is it is our time as Christians to become introspective so that we can get into a deeper walk with the Lord, so that we can jettison things that are a hindrance to our walk with the Lord. But one of the things I think that Matthew 5:3 is talking about is the word poor in the Greek, in the Weiss translation, it means helpless and destitute. And the persecuted church are always helpless and destitute. we have an opportunity in our environment to reach out to them either through prayer and other means and lift them up. And that's what Christ would have us do. In Matthew 25, the verses talk about the righteous will answer Christ, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, and thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison, go to visit you? And our Lord said, truly I say to you, whenever you've done it to the least of these, you've done it to me.